Welcome to this next stage in your study of agricultural science, brought to you exclusively by E-studylab. In our previous session, we spoke about agriculture as something much larger than farming alone. It is a living system that connects food, economy, environment, and human survival. Now that you have that wider picture in mind, we can lean in a little closer and study one of the most practical and fascinating parts of agriculture: crop production. This session is about learning what crops really are, how they are grouped, and why those groupings matter. Instead of seeing crops as just plants in a field, you'll begin to see them as members of different families, each with its own role in feeding people, supporting industry, and sustaining communities. Let's begin gently with the idea at the heart of everything we'll cover this fortnight. At its simplest, crop production is the process of growing plants for human use. Some crops are grown for food, some for clothing, some for medicine, some for oil, and others for trade. But behind every handful of rice or basket of tomatoes lies a chain of decisions: what to grow, where to grow it, and how best to care for it. Farmers don't choose crops at random. They think about climate, soil, rainfall, market demand, and even tradition. Certain plants thrive in heat, while others need cooler conditions. Some grow quickly, while others take years to mature. This is why crops are classified, not to complicate things, but to help us understand what grows where, why it grows well there, and how it should be managed. One important way crops are grouped is by what they are used for. For example, when you think of staple foods, the everyday meals that sustain millions of people, you're probably thinking of cereal crops. These include rice, maize, wheat, and barley. These plants produce grains, which form the foundation of many diets. In Nigeria alone, maize and rice are not just food, they are lifelines. Then there are legumes, crops like beans, lentils, peas, and groundnuts. These are valuable not only because they provide protein, but also because they restore nutrients to the soil. It's as if they quietly feed both the farmer and the land at the same time. Root and tuber crops grow beneath the soil, storing energy underground. Cassava, yam, sweet potato, and potato fall into this group. They are reliable, filling, and deeply tied to food culture across Africa. Vegetable crops such as tomatoes, carrots, cabbage, and lettuce, are often eaten fresh and provide essential vitamins and minerals. They may look small compared to cassava fields or maize farms, but their nutritional value is enormous. Of course, we shouldn't forget that fruit crops bring sweetness into agriculture. Mangoes, oranges, bananas, apples. These are not luxuries. They are vital sources of vitamins and hydration. Then there are fiber crops like cotton, jute, and hemp. You don't eat these, you wear them. They remind us that agriculture doesn't only feed us, it clothes us too. And then, of course, we shouldn't forget oil crops, such as oil palm, soybean, sunflower, and groundnut, are pressed and refined into oils that we cook with every day. From frying food to making soap, their reach extends far beyond the field. Beverage crops like coffee, tea, and cocoa are grown for pleasure as well as trade. Cocoa, in particular, plays a huge role in West Africa's economy. And finally, there are industrial crops, such as sugarcane and palm nut, which are processed into fuel, food products, and manufacturing materials. Now, as you hear about this range of crops, you might notice something quietly powerful. Many farms grow several of these at once. Crops are not isolated. What feeds people may also feed animals. What grows in the soil may improve other crops that share that land. Agriculture is never just one plant standing alone. It is a system of cooperation. We will explore these relationships in later sessions, but for now, I want you to remember this. Every crop belongs to a group, and every group tells a story about how that crop fits into human life. Before we move on to the practical side in our next session, how crops are planted, managed, and harvested, take a moment to reflect quietly. When you eat today, ask yourself, where did this come from? Which group does it belong to? What did it need in order to reach me? You may be surprised how much meaning is hidden in that quiet moment. A reminder that this lesson is protected by copyright and is owned by E-studylab. In our next session, we'll step into the working life of crop production, how farmers prepare their land, how seeds are planted, and how fields are managed through the growing season until harvest.